something to do in the kitchen?
Huh?
You know, the tea things.
Oh, yeah. Yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home. Just
Make yourselves at home. Well, can't you take a hint?
No. That one was pretty obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
So, where do you want to go for dinner?
Oh, I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast, so suppose we wait until after the show?
Well, that'll make it pretty late, won't it?
Now, with a little singer we're seeing tonight, from what I've heard, we'll be at place by 10 o'clock.
Now, you ought to be fair to these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
Well, I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
That musical is no musical.
No?
Darling, you have to learn the rules. With a musical, there are always 4 changes of the title and 3 postponements. They like to innovate with it. It needs a lot of work.
Oh, well, I was hoping it was that musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals seem to have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, you take me home in the subway and I listen to a lecture on the drama. But after a musical, take me home in a taxi and you make a few passes.
Now, wait a minute, darling. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I'll admit that after that Berman play, you told me I had authentic beauty, and that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. But it wasn't until after our first musical you told me I had nice legs. And I do.
For a minister's daughter, you sure know a lot about life. Where'd you learn?
In the choir loft.
I'll explain that to you sometime, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Well, religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better go tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to ration.
What?
I'm falling in love with the girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to be articulate, are you?
The only way I can regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
No. But I have come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
Well, I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
And I can't wait that long. Where can we be married in a hurry? Say, tonight.
Well, I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, God. I'll bet your father can make even a marriage service sound destiny.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Forgive me, darling. It's an occupational disease. I may get that later in a good notice.
Now, don't pretend you love me that much.
I'll just telephone Winchell to publish the band.
Nevertheless,
I'll write everything formal and leave them. But not later than next month.
darling, I'll talk it over with Father and we'll set the date.
No, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There'll be a lot of other first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer.
How are you, Mr. President?
I'm good, just bully. Such a pleasure to see you. What news have you brought me?
Just this, Mr. President, because you're squarely behind me.
Isn't it splendid? Well, I must be on my way. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
To Panama!
Panama?
Panama's the cellar. He digs lots for the canals in there.
Oh, well, you're so sweet with him and he's very fond of you.
Well, Teddy always was my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
There was another brother. John.
Oh, I've never heard of him before. Your aunt's never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about John. He left Brooklyn very early. By request. You see, Jonathan was the kind of boy who liked to cut worms in two. With his teeth.
Oh, well, what became of him?
Well, he wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he refused to go to medical school first, and his practice got him into a little bit of trouble.
Oh, aren't you two running late for the theater?
Oh no, it's giving dinner. We want it to start for another half an hour.
Well, then I'll just leave you two alone together
And
again.
don't bother, darling. I'm going over to run over and speak to Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little.
Well, if the prayer isn't too long, maybe I'd have time to lead you beside the still waters.
Mortimer, that's the first time I've ever heard you quote the Bible. I think Elena's having a good influence on you.
I think she is too. I'm gonna marry her.
What?